by the power of Grayskull.
Welcome back to another episode of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. As always, it's me, the Smithie D, and in today's videos we're going to be looking at the power changes and what influence this potentially could have on the new game mode territory battles. I haven't been able to play or know any information on the up and coming game mode and know as much as you guys. I will be speculating on the new game mode, so feel free to take it with a grain of sand.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
So before we move on to the speculation of the new game mode with the power rating levels, let's have a look at the power ratings itself. The power rating has been a prominent display of a unit's general effectiveness. Through this rating, it has been intended to be a useful way to quickly identify how strong a unit is. It has become less and less effective for this purpose over time. This is primarily due to the formula being based entirely on the raw stats of the unit, which doesn't take into account for its utility, ability levels, or synergies. Furthermore, higher gear tiers have been added since launch, as well as existence of mods, have resulted in large gaps in power rating even between units that have similarly effective in combat, simply due to the way that certain stats are weighed relatively to others in the formula.
What did you say?
So the breakdown of that: previously in the older formula of the power levels, it was calculated by level, gear and mods on a character, which wouldn't give a true indication of the character's raw power. In the interest of making the power formula more reliable as a reference point for a character or a ship's effectiveness, the devs have modified the formula to recognise every upgrade made to a unit, and here are some of the changes. Power calculation now includes every form of the unit's upgrade, including character's level, gear pieces, mod tier and upgrades, ability upgrades and star rating, ship's level, ability upgrades, crew power and star rating, which acts as a multiplier on crew power, just like it does for stats. The value of any of these upgrades will be the same for all units. Example, raising a unit to level 85 will be worth the same amount of power for all units. Units now earn power for every upgrade and earn more power from higher tier upgrades. For example, upgrading from level 40 to 41 is less valuable than upgrading from level 80 to 81. A tier X piece of gear is worth much more power than a tier V piece of gear. A level 5 ability upgrade is worth less than a level 8 ability upgrade. One special case is that a Zeta ability upgrade at level 8 is worth much more than an Omega ability upgrade at the same level. So we're going to jump over to my Galaxy of Heroes accounts. There are many accounts like this, but this one is mine. What we can see straight away, my Zeta characters are actually the top level. As you can see off the bat, that my double Zeta R2-D2 has the highest power level.
It's over 9,000! 9,000?! There's no way that could be right!
Do still have a couple of upgrades to do on him, and that is just the gear really, and this is mainly these pieces, which I'm not going to really put into it until I do see a good use for him. Currently he's sitting at 20,407. And this is without any mods, so we're going to see what putting on some mod is going to do to this character. So let's take note of his power level at 20,407, and we're going to just add on some pretty good mods, and then we're going to change it and see if there's any changes at all if we put on some kind of like bystander mods and see what difference that brings to it. I do believe, just as a theory, that what's going to happen, it's going to be now the same as starships, where it's not going to make any difference as long as you have fully enhanced 5-dot mods, and that's where you're going to get the highest power levels from them. Let's just go with an ordinary mod set, and we're just going to put defense. We're going to see what power level this pretty much gives our R2. Then we're just going to change them to some really random, really low 5-dot mods that are fully enhanced, but not something that we'd use in the arena. So his power level now is 21,487. So mods make a minimum difference to a character's overall power level, and it does look like, as said and mentioned, that it's all about the gear, it's all about the level, and it's all about those Omegas and Zetas. Zetas. So let's strip off all these mods and we're just going to put on the probably worst arena viable mods that I can possibly find to see if we can change that power level, or it is indeed going to be the exact same as it is for Starship. So we're going to put defense, horrible. We're going to make sure we mix this up and put on some random mods that nobody would ever really do. So we want to make sure they are level 15 though. Let's make sure that we're not building a set. Here we go. So we'll see if this does change anything whatsoever in it. No, we don't really want to be going for a good mod like that. So let's have a look. Oh no, we want some potency there. And for the very last one, unfortunately, we're probably going to have to go. There we go. That's a level 2. So let's upgrade that just for this experiment. So now he's just got some random horrible mods on him, and his power level is 21,487, identical to what it was with actually good mods and mod sets. Furthermore, what we can see in my collection is my top characters with Zetas are the highest power level. Thrawn, fair enough, at a 6-star, he is lower than a base. I don't have him fully kind of geared, but what we can see straight away here is he is Zetaed and he does have a good power level for a 6-star character. So what you can take from this little experiment, as mentioned before, that the gear levels, the Zetas do matter. Mods are going to be the same for every single character as long as you're using the highest enhanced, and that's level 15, and 5 mods, it's going to give the same calculation like it does with starships. So what we know so far, that the new power level changes have changed how the calculations are made. They are currently a visual reference and have no impact on any current game mode we currently have. But why has this change come out now and has not been previously applied? I'm diving into some speculation here. I could be wrong, but we have a recent post from the developers about the new game mode. I'm going to pull some statements and information from this post to give my speculation on how power levels could play a major key part to the new upcoming game mode. You can now already collect your favourite characters and ships, now take them into epic scale combat for special bonuses and rewards. The goal of territory battles is for you and your guild to take over the most iconic battlefields in the Star Wars galaxy, the ice planet of Hoth. Conquer your way across the battle map, deploy squads and fleets, complete different mission types and capture strategic targets that can change the tide of the battle. What I can speculate on this part is that we're going to need to take over areas as a guild similar to the game mode of domination or even conquest displayed in Battlefield 1. Some areas in Battlefield 1 would give your team added bonuses like an airfield that can help change the tide of the battle. Bring the strength of everything you've collected into the fight for iconic locations. Now every unit you collect and every upgrade matters. That means it's not only your few most combat worthy squads that can make a difference, you can now deploy your entire collection, including ships, to the front line and send them on missions that will test your unit's endurance and power. The first thing I can take from this, it mentions both upgrade and power in the same paragraph. So back to the power level changes where Omega, Gear, Mods, Stars and Zetas create the power levels. Any good or bad character fully maxed with Omegas and Zetas are going to have a similar power level. It also mentions that we can deploy our entire collection to the front line and send them on special missions. I've seen this type of mechanics used in other games like Mass Effect 3, Mass Effect Andromeda and Assassin's Creed Black Flag, where you can send your units on missions depending on their power levels or combat effectiveness would determine if the mission was a success or fail. How could a mechanic like this be implemented into Galaxy of Heroes? For the special missions, I would imagine it would be a squad of 5, first with a leader ability, followed by a faction tag and synergy, then finally their power levels. I would say a leader ability, faction and synergies would give like a multiplier like we've seen in other game modes or other games that are on the market, where if you have them as a group you receive a multiplier of their power levels, very similar to the star level, how starships work in this, and I would believe that it should or would be implemented to this game mode. In my opinion, I think this is where Empire would really shine in this area, with characters like Thrawn, Director Krennic and Tarkin all with double Zeta abilities, making them one of the highest power level characters in the game. Let's say you send on a mission a team of a double Zeta Thrawn, double Zeta Tarkin, double Zeta Krennic, Zeta Death Trooper and Zeta Veers. This could potentially have the highest team power level in the game and could dominate this area. I think the smartest thing to do at the moment is to collect characters and save any gear and Zetas until we know more information. I think it would not be very smart gearing a load of characters that you currently don't have any use for. So far, only named iconic characters have been given Zeta abilities, so gearing up Geonosian Soldier at this point as a just in case could be a real bad move. I'm going to continue with the rest of the post and give my reason why hoarding could be a smart move. Coordinate on battle and match strategy across multiple mission types using the collective strength of your friend squads and fleets. Succeed or fail together in the new collaborative reward structure as you earn exclusive gear and characters like Hoth Han, Hoth Leia and more. One of the rewards is exclusive gear. Normally exclusive gear can mean that it can only be dropped from that certain mission or area. I would imagine from that Gear 12 pieces are coming. In the past, in Galaxy of Heroes, there has been only limited amount of characters that can be taken to the next gear level, with characters allowed at later dates. We know that higher gear levels and higher gear pieces give a higher contribution to the character's power level. With limiting certain characters to Gear 12 could cause a change in the meta in the arena and play a huge impact to the new game mode. This is certainly why I would save any necessary gear and Zetas until we know who and what and if Gear 12 is actually coming. I do believe that power levels will play a major key part in the new game mode, and we could potentially see certain characters only having access to Gear 12 for now. So what is your thoughts on this speculation? Remember, it is speculation and it can be taken as a grain of sand.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
I created this video in this format explaining power levels, then moving on to my speculation because I do feel they are connected in the way mentioned. Do you agree or do you disagree? Do you have your own theory? Let me know in the comments below. If you did enjoy the video, then please leave a like, and if you don't want to miss any videos like this one, then feel free to subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much for watching today. I'm the Smithie D. May the Force be with you always.